Hey everyone, this is Janz with this week's Conservation Report. I am a soil conservationist here for the NRCS in Stearns County, and in my spare time I enjoy hunting and fishing. Now, speaking of hunting, I was out driving around the county over the weekend doing some scouting, and I noticed there was a lot of farm implements on the roadway. Corn silage harvest is in full swing, if you haven't noticed already, and there's definitely an increase in farm traffic on the roadways. So I thought for this edition of the Conservation Update, I could remind our listeners of a few good tips to help increase your road safety during this fall's harvest. So, for starters, let's talk about a few road safety tips for farmers. Before you hit the roads, make sure those brake pedals are locked together. We want both of those brakes functioning at the same time. In the field you might want independent braking so that you can make tighter turns, but in the road we want both brakes. We also want to make sure that your mirrors are adjusted for good vision. You want to be able to see the traffic that's coming up behind you because they tend to come quick. Now also make sure that all your warning lights and flashers are working. This will help everyone else on the road see you as well. For equipment that doesn't have lights or flashers, make sure you have a slow-moving vehicle sign in place that's visible to everybody else on the road. That will give them the indication to slow down and they'll see you much faster. We also want to make sure that our tires are inflated properly so that road travel is much easier. Now, when you're on the road, you want to make sure that you stay alert and listen for cars. Vehicles tend to approach very rapidly from behind, so we want to pay attention to all of our surroundings. Keep a constant lookout for pedestrians, animals, bikers, mailboxes, steep banks, anything that could cause you to tip over or run you off the road. We want to slow down for sharp curves or when going down hills as well. The last thing you want to do is lose control down a hill and end up in the ditch. And consider using an escort behind your vehicle. This will help alert motorists behind you that there could be some danger ahead or a slow-moving vehicle. And it'll give you a sense of security as you go down the road that you have another guy behind you watching your back. Now let's transition into a few tips for motorists. Farm machinery has a legal right to use the public roads just as we do. So be patient. We're all trying to get somewhere, just at different speeds. So reduce your speed when you see farm machinery. It's hard to judge that speed of a vehicle you're approaching, so when you see the slow-moving vehicle sign, just consider it a warning to slow down. Another tip, don't assume that the farmer knows you're there. Equipment is really large these days and it tends to block the view of the operator. If you can't see the driver can't see you. So pay attention. Pass with extreme caution. Don't pass unless you can see clearly ahead of both your vehicle and the farm equipment. And make sure you pass in a passing zone. It's tempting to pass anywhere on the road because farm equipment moves so slowly, but there's a reason they have no passing zones, and it's typically because it's a dangerous intersection, or there's a tunnel coming up, or there's some other general hazard in the area. And one final tip to consider, when you see a farm vehicle pull to the right side of the road, it doesn't always necessarily mean that they're making a right turn. Most large equipment needs to make a wide turn, just like a semi does. So if the vehicle is veering to the right, it's likely making a left turn. Same way, if a farm machinery veers into the left lane of oncoming traffic, it's likely making a right turn. So just take your time, pay attention, and don't always assume the farmer knows you're there, and we'll have a safer harvest this season. Now I'd like to switch gears and talk about a soil health field day that is being hosted by the Sherburne Soil and Water Conservation District on Wednesday, September 20th from 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. It's being held at the Haven Township Town Hall, and there you will find rainfall simulator demonstrations. You will see interseeded cover crop plots on site. There will be soil health presentations by Jay Fuhr, who is an NRCS soil health specialist. And also, if you want to bring in water samples, you can have a nitrate test done on site for irrigation or private wells. There will be a free pulled pork lunch for all attendees. Reserve your spot today by contacting Miranda Wagner at 763-241-1170 extension 4. Again, the number is 763 241 1170, extension 4. Again, this is Aaron Janz from the Stearns County NRCS office, bringing you this week's Conservation Report.